Tonight is Sunday night and we are having some pulled pork. Again, I think we had that last Monday. Some pulled pork sandwiches on some homemade buns and then some coleslaw on the side. This is a apple buttermilk, it's an apple buttermilk type coleslaw. I can't put the recipe online. It's actually in a book, a cookbook, and but basically it's just got coleslaw mix. I think it's red pepper, scallions, green apple. Then it's got buttermilk, celery seed, what else? Salt, pepper, some other things. Anyway, it's really yummy. And then but yeah, I'll put the link to the actual cookbook in the description box below since I can't necessarily share it since there's no link to it, to the recipe online. And then, but I'm sure there's a recipe similar. And then these buns, I think I shared in a video maybe a week or two ago. I made a whole bunch, so I froze part of them. And then the pulled pork is just some local pork tenderloin that we got from the farm. And then the sauce on top is this Berman's Carolina sauce. It's really good. It's from Aldi. They just have it during the warmer months, but it's our favorite barbecue sauce. It's so delicious. So this is what we're having for this Sunday night. I forgot to mention that I usually just put the pork loins in a little bit of water in the crock pot, and then I drain out the liquid. You could probably leave a little bit there. And then I just shred up the pork. You can do it other ways with like soda, throw barbecue sauce in there, but we like to just add our own barbecue sauce. My son doesn't usually like the barbecue sauce on it, so we just use ketchup on his, so just keep it separate for those reasons. But yeah, I don't put salt, pepper, anything on there. I just throw the whole pork loins in. I use 2 small ones from a local farm and then just shred them up. I think I cooked maybe 5 or 6 hours on low. Not too long at all. But yeah, that's how we made the pork to go on the sandwich. Tonight is Monday night and we are just having some shrimp. I cook it in some apple cider vinegar and Old Bay seasoning. Probably put like a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch worth of apple cider vinegar in the pot, and then just sprinkle in as much as you want of the Old Bay. Heat it up until it bubbles, and then add the shrimp and cook it for a few minutes. And that's that for the shrimp. The vegetables are just a steam-in bag, mixed vegetable from Walmart. And then the baked potatoes, you just cook at 425, prick the potatoes all over, cover them with olive oil and kosher salt, and bake them for 45 minutes to an hour, depending on the size of the potato. Gets really nice and crispy on the outside, my favorite way to make them. This is what we're having this Monday night. Tonight is Tuesday night, and my husband did some grilling tonight, and all I made was the brown rice. It's just some chicken breasts that we marinate in the Kikkoman teriyaki sauce. It's really good, or teriyaki marinade, I guess. It's really, really good. I just let it marinate all day. You don't have to add anything else. It's nicely seasoned, gives it nice salt flavor, everything like that, so you don't have to add anything. And then I made some skewers here, some button mushroom, yellow squash, and onion. Sometimes I use red onion, but today I used white onion. And then I marinate it with pretty much 1 whole lemon, the juice of that, and then some olive oil, some salt, pepper, and garlic powder. Usually I use garlic salt, but I don't have any, so I would do garlic salt if I didn't have, or if I had that, and then you'd use that in place of the salt and the garlic powder. And then Worcestershire, however you say it, sauce in there too. So I just let that marinate all day, stir it around a few times during the day, and then skewer them up. And they get nice and charred. I like them really dark, and it's really good. And we're just having that with some brown rice on the side. So that's what we're having for this Tuesday night. Tonight's Wednesday night, and we are having some semi-homemade spaghetti sauce. I have a link to the video for that in the description box below. It's kind of a homemade recipe, semi-homemade. It's a recipe from my grandmother that uses the McCormick spaghetti seasoning mix, and then you just doctor it up with some other things. It's really, really good. The one video that has the most hits on this channel. So check that out if you are looking for a spaghetti sauce recipe. And we just have that over traditional spaghetti, some frozen garlic bread, and then some steam-in bag broccoli florets. And that is what we're having this Wednesday night. Tonight is Thursday night, and we are having a curry honey mustard chicken. These are boneless, skinless chicken thighs. And then I serve that over white rice this time instead of brown rice, and then a steam-in bag of the Brussels sprouts. These are from Aldi. The chicken, I have the recipe for the sauce that goes over top, and I think my chicken was still a little bit frozen yet. So, yep, honey. So it was a little bit more runny, the sauce, than it usually is. But usually it's a little thicker from the honey. Anyway, it'll still be good. So this is what we're having this Thursday night. So tonight is Friday night, and I just wanted to show you, I tried a new recipe from this book. It's called Skinny Taste Fast and Slow. I got it from the library. If I can find the recipe online, I'll link it below, but if not, I'll just link the book here in the description box. You can check it out maybe at your library. There's a couple recipes in here that I tagged and want to try. So this is one of them. This is a slow cooker brisket recipe. I had just taken it out not too long ago. Ooh, a lot of steam. And tried to cut it against the grain like the description tells you to do, but it kind of falls apart as with any cut of meat, it seems like, from the crock pot. But yeah, it kind of more or less looks kind of like a pot roast. There's some onion that you caramelize, two onions that you caramelize on the oven, some garlic, Worcestershire sauce, and what else? There's salt, pepper, tomato paste, and some beef broth in there. So we're gonna make this and we'll assemble it over potatoes, mashed potatoes, and then I got some asparagus from the local stand today. We went to the local farm and picked up a bunch of cuts of meat. I don't usually buy brisket. I also bought a flat flank steak, which I don't normally buy, but I figured I'd try it out. And since this was a slow cook method, I figured why not? It's not like I have to cook too much. I did have to brown the beef a little bit before putting it in, but we'll try it out, see how it is. I like to usually make a recipe the first time around as it's written, and then if we like it enough to make it again, then I'll add some tweaks to it. The one thing I might do here, usually when I make a pot roast in here, I add like a little cornstarch slurry to the liquid and make the gravy part a little bit thicker. I did have to remove a lot of fat, and I'll probably have to go back through and take some more fat out because this was a very fatty brisket. So that's what I learned, that brisket's quite fatty. But yeah, so I might add some cornstarch if we like it enough to make it again to the liquid, just to thicken it up to put over as like a gravy over mashed potatoes. But we'll show you what it looks like plated up. That's the book, and I'll let you know how it tastes. All right, so this is the slow cooker brisket all plated up. I think the gravy's a little bit runny, so I probably would add cornstarch next time. And then we're just having that over mashed potatoes that I made homemade with red potatoes. Is it good? Good. Son approved. And then some local asparagus, trying to enjoy it while we can. So this is what we're having this Friday night. So my review of the brisket in the slow cooker was, it's really good. I think it tastes a lot like a Salisbury steak, the gravy, and I do make a pot roast with tomato sauce in it. It's kind of similar to that, like a cross between the two. And I think I would probably just use like a round roast or a rump roast that's a little bit leaner than the brisket next time, since it all gets really moist anyway and falls apart in the crock pot, so you don't have to worry about it being too firm or anything like that. It's not going to have the same texture as if you were to cook it in the oven. I guess like the brisket gets a little bit more tough. Anyway, so I would make this again, so if you want to try out the recipe, find the cookbook at the library, or you can check it out through the link below. And if I can find a link to the actual recipe, I will include that as well. We're having some pocket falafel balls with some tzatziki sauce, some sliced tomatoes, and then some lettuce from the garden. It's just like free baby lettuce that you just pull, pick and come, whatever they call it. And then the tzatziki sauce, really yummy. We'll probably have to add a little bit extra. The falafel balls are mostly vegetarian. I think there's egg white in there, or maybe a full egg in it, but I've had these in the freezer forever, and we really need to use them up. So we're gonna have that for dinner tonight.